If I asked you to describe your business in one sentence, could you do it? Hello, my name is DeAnna Busby-Rast, and I am the founder and the owner of Authentica Group, and I help businesses and individuals grow and develop through professional development and executive coaching programs. When I am working with businesses, when I ask them to think about their business and can they truly describe it for me in one sentence, I get, yes, of course I can. And then I ask it again, say it in one sentence, and we end in silence. The deal is when we are working in our businesses, when we are growing our business, one of the most important elements to business is clarity. If we cannot explain clearly who we are and what we do, how on earth do we expect our team members, our clients, and or the market to truly understand who we are, what our purpose is, and what our value is? When you think about clarity, clarity comes in so many different places, but I'm gonna break it down really easy for you. The first is let's figure out what your brand identity is. What is brand identity? It is how you look. It is how people see you, how they perceive you. Brand identity is your logo. It is your colors. It is your voice. It is how you show up in print. It is how you show up online. It is how you show up on your website and every proposal that you put together. When somebody sees that color, they see your face, they see that tagline, they know it's your company. Brand identity is absolutely crucial. I often, when coaching businesses, I will go right to build a brand book, know what your brand book is, and I will share more information about that brand book in just a second. Here's the other thing. It's your mission. Do you understand where you're headed, where you're going? If you're questioning how to develop a real mission, head over, do some searching on Google. It's really simple. Look at Nike, look at Starbucks, look at Google. They have amazing missions out there. The mission is identifying who you are and where you're going. Another really important element to bringing clarity to your business is, what are your values? Now, I'm going to tell you something on a very personal level. To me, values don't always sit just up here. They sit here and they sit here. The values are who you are as a person, what defines the values for your company, how you want people in your organization to really live through those values. So when we think about values, it could be things like integrity, honesty, teamwork, collaboration, clients first, community. Values are something that live not only in our mind, but they also live in our heart. When we think about that brand identity, when we think about building who we are, you've got to test the waters. So my recommendation all the time is to ask people, get their opinion. The deal is you've got to understand who you are all the time. One of the things I mentioned was the brand book. There's a million examples of brand books out there. I'm going to give you a link here on my YouTube channel that you can download the brand book so you're a little bit closer to what I'm talking about. But that brand is really important. It also drives where you're headed. So just keep that top of mind. Okay, so if I tell you how important clarity is, it's this. When I'm working with business owners, what happens is we have the idea. It's never, ever about purpose or passion, but it seems to be, where am I going? What am I doing? And then we start to get distracted. We start to come in, well, I have a client that's interested in doing this. And even though it's not really in my core set of services, I think I can do it anyway. And guess what happens? We lose sight of where we're headed. And we start to get distracted. And we start to bring in services and solutions that aren't core to the value that we bring to the market and to our clients. So before you start thinking about taking that next opportunity that falls outside of your scope, come right back to what your purpose is. Bring clarity back to it. It is absolutely okay to say no. It is absolutely okay to get uncomfortable in that moment when you don't want to say no. But if you do, because it falls way outside your scope, I promise you, long term, you will be happier. That doesn't mean that in 2 years, when your business evolves that we can't entertain new ideas. But when we are kicking it off, we got to really stay in our lane. So I'm challenging you to think about it in a couple different ways. Why don't you sit down later on this evening or early tomorrow morning and you sit down and you think about your business. Have I truly brought clarity to who I am, what I'm doing, what my purpose is, and what value I bring to my clients? Ask yourself, can I really explain my business in one sentence? Ask yourself, if I asked 5 people to define my mission or to define my business, would they be able to do it? Ask yourself, does every time I'm at a networking event, I put a marketing piece out, I put a sales proposal together, I'm in a big opportunity with a prospect, am I hitting home? Do they clearly understand who I am, the business I provide, the solution more importantly to them? Those are the questions I want you to really ask yourself. Go back and look at your material. Go back and look what posts you put out recently. Are you bringing clarity to your message? When you think that clarity is going to slow you down, clarity is actually the entire foundation for you to grow faster later. So I'm going to give you an example. For a business that does collection services, there are millions of companies out there that need collection services. What type of collection services do you offer? Not only what type of collection services do you offer, but who do you offer them to? Who are your best customers? Do you understand the best customers and the best value you can bring to those clients? That's just one very simple explanation of how you bring clarity to what you are doing. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Take time to audit what you're doing. I promise you, if you take time to audit and bring clarity to your purpose, to your passion, to your business, you will thank me later. So if you're interested in the brand book, go ahead and click the link below. Just keep in mind that the only thing I'm going to ask for is your email, and it is free for now, but it won't be forever.